Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NimeGrow Podcast. On today's episode, we host one of my close friends, my brother from another mother, one of the hosts in the hottest podcast in the market right now, Sisi Watatu Podcast. Lee,
Yes,
get intro, man. Introduce yourself, man.
Hello, the audience of NimeGrow Podcast. It is I who has been introduced in a rather, world-class manner. Our name is Lee. I don't know if you have heard of my podcast, but it's there. It also has a Swahili name, just like this one. It's called Sisi Watatu. But since we're not going to talk about that, I'm just here to talk about a number of things, not take too much time speaking about it, be precise, get to know the audience here, talk with Fidel. As he said, he's my close friend. We hang out from time to time, engage
Yeah.
in manly stuff. Yeah, so, and I'm also an international student. I'm studying electrical engineering, my third year at the University of Debrecen. And yeah, that's it about me. I'm a simple guy. And I am starting to love what I do. I know it's funny because the first 2 years were pretty much
Crazy, man.
they're pretty much theoretical, and I really had no idea what I was doing at some point. But it's starting to make sense now, and I'm starting to love what I do.
Uh,
That's in a nutshell about my
uh,
studies. I also have a podcast called Sisi Watatu Podcast where I speak about life as I know they refer to us as Generation Z. It's probably Generation Z because my age bracket is kind of falling inside there. So we kind of speak about life as affects or in the eyes of a you know Generation Z guy. I have two other peers who we do it with called Richard and Jesse. Richard is in Kenya. He's a news anchor currently. Jesse is in Yale University doing a double major. So by that you can tell I'm the least accomplished of the three. So yes, that is in a nutshell what I do. I also have an interest in graphic design. I kind of do Photoshop from time to time as well as Premiere Pro and some After Effects. So that's kind of what I do on the side. And I also was part of, still am to be fair, only that it's a bit dormant now, part of a startup called Medbit, which was aimed at providing healthcare services in a more efficient way to doctors and patients. If we get more traction in the future, I'm sure it's something I'll be willing to go back to because it's kind of our brainchild, which we'd like to see come to fruition in the future. So that's me in a nutshell. And yeah, I am. I love sports, specifically football. Chelsea is just starting to rise up, man. That's like I feel so happy because it's been taking a toll on my mental health when we were getting
it's
more
been a while.
kind of results left, right, and center. So yeah, that's a good thing. And yeah, I believe in God too, man, because he does great things. So
Mhm.
that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, that's a solid intro, man. Like,
Is it? I feel like I do it. I overdo it at times, but I'll just take your word for it.
man, you set the bar so high because I
Come
just want
on, come on, man. I'm
because
not.
I should have started by introducing myself first because that intro is not going enough. Because I just wanted to say, my name is Fidel. I'll be the host for this episode of NimeGrow, and I'm the substitute host. That's as much as my CV goes. I'm the substitute host. Like when Joshua is busy doing important adult stuff, I take over the episode. So yeah, I'm just yeah. So yeah, first things first. Like, how's your time in Hungary? How do you find it, man? Like, how's it been?
Hey, I've had different experiences. My first, let's say, semester was rocky in terms of settling in terms of school. Like I was not, I was sure of how things happen, but saying is one
Uh-huh.
thing, doing is another.
Yeah.
So I found difficulties in one area or the other, but my second semester was where things started to gel. Like I started finding my foot in my social life, my academic life, and
Uh-huh.
my mental health. So because I was still carrying some of the baggage from home in
Yeah.
terms of my work and in terms of my emotions too, where I was. So my first semester was rocky in terms of settling in because I had to adapt to a new environment. It demands when you move, you need to move like
Yeah.
yourself,
Definitely.
not leave a part of you somewhere else. So that was hard in a bit in terms of settling in. it was hard in that regard, but I was quick to adjust by the time my second semester was starting, and it's been joyful ever since. I've done a bunch of stuff I'm proud of. Like
Mhm.
by the start of last year, I was actually became a mentor at Hawk. So if you're on Hawk, man, come join us, man. We do dope stuff.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah, it's been joy all around. I can't say I have any bad experiences here. It's been a good learning curve. I always take
Mhm.
the opportunity to learn so daily. So what I've been learning like is to find myself most importantly, because as you go on with your study, as you go on with life, you get to discover what you stand for and
Mhm.
the kind of person you want to be. And I feel like Hungary has been a big part of me discovering the direction
Mhm.
that I'd like to take and opening my mind up to what I want to believe in future when I'm in a much higher position than I am. So I feel like
Mhm.
Hungary has been a big eye opener in that. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful country, beautiful people. Actually, we're so proud of the friends I've been able to make, the kind
Mhm.
of experiences we've had together, and yeah, I think the only way is up.
Yeah, like also for me, it's also like amazing because I knew you when you were still back in Kenya,
That's
and
great.
like when you came here, we didn't know anyone, we didn't have any connections, and just to see what we've been able to achieve,
Yes.
it's it's been crazy. And speaking of Hungary, like speaking of the people being nice, like the people I know, how have you had any experiences with Hungarian women and stuff? Yeah,
Oh,
because
of course.
it's the month of love, so it's only
They
fair that
are
we
they
speak
are
about love. So yo,
amazing, amazing, man. I cannot.
um,
I'm even speaking from like a point of fact. Hungarian women are they're really beautiful. Like they look really
they're
good.
it,
Because
man.
I went to I stayed here for I think 2 years, and then it's like I got used to seeing them, and then I thought of it as normal. Then I went to Spain. I went to Barcelona, and I'm not like
That's
saying that Spanish women are like
yeah.
good looking,
Mm.
but I was like, wait a minute, man. Hungarian women actually blessed.
Wait a minute, like
You know, like how they struggle to
yeah.
keep fitness, how they, how they carry themselves. I feel like there's a certain swagger with Hungarian girls that I like a lot. So I feel like if I know I'm not one to compare, but I'd
Yeah,
say
yeah.
they're at the very top. So they're really nice people, and not only in terms of looks, but in terms of their characters. I feel like
Uh-huh.
if you get to know them and open up to them, they're really nice people. When I
Yeah.
was going home over the summer of 2019,
Mhm.
one of my friends called Amalia, she's in Ireland now, actually told me I had to leave Debrecen. Wow, she's actually texting me. I had to leave.
The-
I had to leave Debrecen
uh-huh.
early, super early to catch my flight on time at 9 a.m. But then she told me, "Oh, that doesn't seem like a very good idea because you're waking up early. So what you're gonna do is just come to my place at Budapest the day
Mhm.
before, and you just leave for the airport from Budapest." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Wow, this is someone who's welcoming a total stranger to their house."
Yeah, it
That
could be a serial killer or something.
Hey, she doesn't know me. I just knew her a couple of weeks ago, and she's telling me, "Oh, you can come to my place, no worries." So I find Hungarians being very warm-hearted, and that's all.
Uh-huh.
You kind of carry their name wherever you go. So when I was telling my mom about, this girl who's introducing me
Mhm.
to her friends, taking me to her place, and I was like, my mom
Hey,
was like, "Wow, really? Oh,
yeah,
because I wanted to
that's
do that.
crazy.
Because I wanted to do that." So yeah, I feel like they're really nice people. My experience with them have just been amazing, and yeah, I can't wait for more.
Yeah, this still like one last lap of on over the summer, and
Uh,
yeah, we see how it goes. So speaking of how nice they are, like also for me, I have like similar experiences. Like they're really nice people. They're
uh,
welcoming. They
uh,
have a sense of humor, although
uh,
sometimes it's hard because yeah, it's just humor is
it's
personal for
hard.
everyone. Because man, you
What did you
can
do? Did you say a joke and it backfired on you? Why the hesitation?
yo, they almost told me to death, man. Like
Ah,
it was one of those jokes that is Kenyan.
oh, they're just crickets. You made a joke and
Um,
they're just crickets.
but but
Wow,
I
man.
caught up
I
now.
don't know
I
what
have
he said.
some funny jokes now,
Are
and
you Fidel? Are you
yeah,
funny? Are you?
man, man have you met me, man? What
You're
on the
gonna,
street? Like
you're
I'm
gonna
supposed to
deserve.
get a Netflix special like in 2 years now, so
I'm gonna
Yeah.
reserve comments for after the episode because don't
Okay.
upset the host.
Oh, so speaking of the month of love, man, like, and the Hungarian women being nice, like, have you had chances where you've shot your shot and it worked out or it didn't? And yeah, so.
Let's say a man belongs to the streets. No. Yeah, seriously though, the I do not know whether it's a personal thing,
Uh,
but being being someone who is very in touch with my emotions, I feel like I would not be the one to propose. I'd not be one to propose if I didn't feel like the feelings are
mhm,
coming from a legitimate place. So I have not shot my shot per se. I've had
mhm,
interactions with them and they've been nice
mhm,
interactions. There have been nice
uh-huh,
interactions with them, but I haven't shot my shot with regards to love.
uh-huh,
So I think that basically means I've not found love, but have I found people who are attractive? Yes. Have I found
hey,
people who signal that they were attracted in me? Yes. But there has to be some elements which just have to come right for you to go in that direction. Because I consider it to be a pretty serious thing. So if you're gonna, say you
uh,
love someone, I'm gonna use the word love. I'm not sure if I should, but I'm gonna use the word love.
mhm,
If I'm gonna say I love someone, I need like it to come from a very sincere place. So when I shoot my shot, or in the
mhm.
event I shoot my shot, it's going to be legitimate 100%. And I need to have gotten myself together and known that yes, I'm actually ready to take life with this person.
You're not gonna miss, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, and speaking about people who have found you attractive, like you can, I was actually there when I witnessed in the tram. You're giving women sleepless nights
No. Let's not
in
speak
them
about
trams, like they
that.
miss their stop.
This is not the forum. But to be fair, they said hi. I thought it was a bit weird because we got in the tram and then we sat down,
Hey,
minding our business, and then
we were just chilling, man.
these three girls just started looking at us and maybe one locked eyes. The funny thing is, and this is why the kind of mask wearing thing is a blessing in disguise because I
Uh-huh.
don't know if you're blushing. So man, I'm just minding my business. Then the chick across me is like locked on me,
Hey,
looking at me. Like, okay. Then I noticed, I'm like, wait, is she looking at me? Then I turn my eyes and then looked again. She's still looking at me. I don't know if she's
hey,
trying, I don't know what she's trying. Are you trying to intimidate me? Is this an eye staring contest? Is this what it is? And I was like, okay. So she kind of noticed that I took notice. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what happened. Then she made her friends aware of the fact that I was looking, and she was looking. So I was looking at you, you're looking at me. But then there was a lot of stuff that could have been said that was not said. But
yeah.
long story short is I got to my tram stop and I alighted, and when I alighted, the chance to say hi presented itself, and I'm like, hi. I'm like, hi. Why did you do this earlier, man? I could have just walked over there and we just do the thing. But I think it's one of those scenarios where you
Uh-huh.
you know, just let the casualties remain in the air. Like, I take you
Yeah,
out, you take me out, and we go.
yeah.
But I hope they're doing well wherever they are. They made my
We,
day that day.
we give them big up to them, man,
Yeah,
because
my
yo,
day was definitely made.
it was a pretty cold day that day actually. So
It was. It was nice to have
it was
some
nice,
warm thoughts. It was nice to have some
some
warm
warm
thoughts.
smiles and like
Yes,
thoughts and stuff.
that is that is correct.
I was actually planning on asking like when you shot your shot and missed, but you apparently have never shot your shot
Man,
because
I don't miss, man. I don't miss.
because because the streets need someone to run them. But
When
yo,
I
so
when I when I shoot, I don't miss. When they say when you come at the king, best not miss. I don't miss, man. I have
ah
shot in the past and I did not miss, but that was the old me, man. Like cause I think discovering yourself is a continuous process.
uh-huh
Something you just don't wake up and say, oh man, today I'm not like this. It's something that has to
uh-huh.
rise from
It's
something,
a
or
continuous process and
that continuous
gradual.
events have to occur for you to be like this tomorrow and not be like this the next day. So yeah, uh that was before. Now I have a totally different view when it comes to shooting shots. That's why I
Uh-huh.
said like before, It has to come from a very sincere place. You have to be convinced that you're not going to waste this person's time and you're not going to waste your own. So yeah, that's basically it.
But sometimes you're not the one who actually wastes time, but you get done dirty basically. Like
Oh yeah, yeah. I think you need to acknowledge that, and this is something that we all need to. That loving someone takes time on both ends. Like if you're gonna use the word love, I mean, I don't know if I'm overusing this word or I'm just underusing it. If you're gonna be with someone, I think that's a safer option. If you're gonna be with someone, you need to realize that it's an effort of time. Like you have to input time for it to work. Because if we're all engineers here, or maybe most of us are, or maybe all of us are familiar with the
all of us
concept.
are engineers, the best. Yeah.
Exactly. We are familiar with the concepts of input and output. They cannot output if there's no input.
Yeah.
Even in computers, they cannot, it just does not work. So the energy you put in is in terms of time. It's in terms of time, in terms of sometimes money. Doesn't have to be, but it happens.
Emotion.
It's in terms of emotion. It's in terms of simple things. Taking time to know your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend. So I feel like whatever happens has to be a consequence of the effort that's being put in. So the conscious decision of staying with someone needs thought, because it's not just something you just say, oh, I'll do this, then you just find yourself in not making an effort at all. It needs that conscious decision of, hey, I'm gonna have to commit some of my time, if not all of my time, to this person. So that's the point where maturity needs to come from. So that's why the shoot thing needs to be a bit serious, you know?
Not shooting in the dark. Like.
Yeah, just don't shoot shots that you're not sure of. Don't say that you miss 100% of the shots you don't miss or something.
Nah, it doesn't apply here, right?
Yeah, it doesn't apply here. Yeah.
Oh, actually, about like being brave, loving someone. There's this representation we used to use when like I was doing like performance poetry. Like loving someone is like trusting someone with all the weakest parts of yourself, most fragile parts of yourself, and placing it in their hands and trusting them enough to not drop it, you know.
Right.
So it's like the same. You're basically giving someone your heart, like being vulnerable around them and hoping they don't do you that, man. Like because
I think it's what you call I don't want to call it a risky investment, but it's an investment all the same. Like because you know when you're investing in something, you're not sure of the returns. You don't know if something's gonna happen. You don't know if the stock is gonna rise. You don't know if it's going to fall. You're really not sure what's going to happen here. So I feel like love is kind of the same thing, but if it's done properly, you can get some sort of conviction, because especially the trust part you just said, you can get some sort of conviction, and that's usually enough. Because the conviction part it's called being. I think there's this thing they call. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets thrown around nowadays, but they call it one of the 5 love languages. One of them is words of affirmation. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you're affirmed that this person is yours, then it goes a big way in blocking out doubt. So I feel like that's a big part of commitment. So yes, and trust too.
Yeah, I also feel like coming like I don't know if you have a similar experience, like coming from Kenya and like maybe a different part and experiencing like maybe relationship, not necessarily even romantic, but like with Kenyan women and coming here, like they are they different for you, or you find them the same, or like there's
wow,
discrepancies?
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't think they're too different. The aspects are different because it depends also on the environment you're in. Over here, you're gonna have a different set of circumstances that are making you do something that are not necessarily the ones you have back home. Because maybe you can come here and have the mentality of carpe diem, like live now, do now.
Yeah.
YOLO. You only live once. You only Hungary once, or so your approach to dating and love might be different from when you're at home. That's why I'm saying if you're gonna treat it as something that's temporary, then maybe you shouldn't be committed, because it's something serious.
Yeah, like basically, but I also feel like here they're more like open to the PDAs and stuff, like back at home.
PDA. Oh, that's what you mean. All right. Yeah,
No,
you're
like
right.
just
Oh, that's nice. I like it. I'm all for PDA, man. Hey, I'm all for it. Like,
Yo, so
kiss me in the tram, bro. I mean, not bro, sis.
so like I find you walking in the streets of Debrecen hand in hand, man. Like over the
Yeah,
summer
hey, that's
travel.
what
Like,
it's about.
yo,
That's why it's art, man. Tell me you don't find that attractive. It's attractive. Like,
man,
I'm
but
all
but
for
I feel
that.
like
I'm
an
all for
honorable mention should go to Nairobi women. Like these women are yo
Nairobi.
gangsters. Like
Nairobi
they
women are fine, man. Nairobi women are
ah
fine. They're fine.
awesome man. Which
I love all my Nairobi women, man. Like Nairobi
ah
women.
man, I'm actually homesick when I'm recording this.
Are you homesick?
Yeah, like a lot, man. It's been not like crazy, like not the, like the first time I came here where I was like,
Oh yeah, that was that
wow,
too.
why did I come here?
Ha,
You
ha.
know, but I'm homesick, but it's not like the crazy one. It's just that I miss my family and like a couple of
Yeah,
guys.
that
So
goes for me too. You're not alone in that.
oh, so like what would you say is that maybe after you finish like your time in Hungary, what has been like your biggest takeaway or like biggest lesson or something?
I feel like it made me appreciate my worth because I've had a lot of time on my hands, which is it can either be a good thing or a bad thing. But I feel like
Uh-huh.
I've had a considerable amount of time on my hands where I've done some pretty productive stuff, and I've gotten to know that um, there's value in what I do, regardless of how small I might think it is. There's someone out there who sees it as something really big. So you have to put value in what you do. It has gotten me to have value in myself as a person, first of
Uh-huh.
all, and in what I do. So I feel like my time now, I'd just jump into something for the sake of doing something, just
Uh-huh.
because I want to feel like I'm in something. But now I need to look at the outlook. No, I need to look at the
Uh-huh.
outcome, sorry, of whatever it is I get into. Like if I get into podcasting,
Uh-huh.
why am I doing this and what value is it adding to me as a person? If I get
Uh-huh.
into engineering like I am, how am I
Uh-huh.
growing in this? It needs to be a continuous process of growing. Am I widening my skills? Am I
Uh-huh.
learning? Am I having fun? Because that's
Yeah.
also part of who I like having fun.
Yeah.
So if I'm having fun while doing something, then I'm doing the right thing. Because I feel like it's really hard to do something you don't love.
Uh-huh.
So that's one of the things Hungary has helped me know. Like you need to do something you like because your time is worth money. It's actually worth
Yeah.
money. They see. So yeah, I feel that has been my biggest takeaway. It has also taught me to be tolerant. Like the
Uh-huh.
main cultures I've interacted with here
Yeah.
um, have taught me that we're not all the same. Like we did not grow up the same way. And you need to
Uh-huh.
talk to these people. When you get into careers, when you get into
Uh-huh.
jobs, get businesses, you'll come across so many people who've not been raised necessarily the same way as we have. So you need to tolerate them. You need to learn
Uh-huh.
what ticks them off and what doesn't. Basically, people skills. And this place
Uh-huh.
has seen that a lot because I took a job in my
Uh-huh.
first semester. Wow, it's even
Uh-huh.
amazing that I did all that in my first semester. So a job in my first semester and it was a call center job and some of
Uh-huh.
the customers calling in were pretty rude. But you
Uh-huh.
as the customer agent had to be very kind with them, like and understanding.
Uh-huh.
Like when they, talk trash, just be
Uh-huh.
cool, be calm, be composed. It's easier said than done, but
Yeah.
it's a skill that once you learn, it, it goes a long
Uh-huh.
way in making you tolerate others, which is kind of what an inclusive society is all about.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
because like for me basically one of the key I've taken like most of the things you've spoken about, but also like the aspect of trusting myself. Like, for example, like back in Kenya, like if there's a project like maybe going on and I say, yo, I can do this, they look at your age. Basically, it's a bad thing to do, but they look at your age and say you're not even 30. Like, so what can you do? So like it makes you like coil up, like shrink yourself into being like since you're in your 20s, you cannot do this. But here
Mhm.
there's like a project like that was happening, and I said, yo, you know what? I can like design and be part of the design team, like the engineering aspect. And they're like, are you sure? Can you handle this? And I said yes, and they just gave it to me, man. It was like a lot of pressure, of course, because I had school and stuff, but they trusted me enough and made me, like trust myself. So
Exactly.
it
And it goes a long way in building your self esteem too, because someone believes in your ability to do something, and that goes a long way in even
Yeah,
reassuring
they
you
just
person that you're on the right track. That's the kind of growth you want in your life, career, studies, everything.
yeah, they just took like a shot on this young Kenyan guy and stuff. So okay, me, back to you.
Yes.
What's your opinion about like dating guys from other races or countries and stuff? Is it something you try, or is it something you're open to try, or like what's
Of
your opinion?
course. Of
Uh
course. Why not?
huh.
Why
Like,
not,
do you
man?
have a preference like from a specific area or just from everywhere? Like you're just open to.
I do not have a preference. See, here's the
Uh
thing.
huh.
I really do not have a preference because I feel like love is love. I know that gets thrown around in a different context, but
like
yeah,
like
it
a
gets
rainbow
around.
flag or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gets around in
Uh,
that kind of thing. So I feel like it shouldn't be a thing. I'm not saying have reserved thoughts about people who have a preference because it's okay to have a preference. You can say
you can have a
I
type.
exactly.
Uh
You can date this kind of people. Like I don't want someone who looks like it's okay. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I don't subscribe to it because of my own reasons.
huh.
We are um I want something pure, and that's not something I look at. Like if you come to me from a different culture,
Hmm.
then that's not the first thing I'm gonna see. Of course, I'm gonna have okay. Oh yeah, she may be not from where I'm from, and that's
Hmm.
okay, and I'm gonna respect that. But to say that I can't date them, that's not true, man.
Uh-huh.
Because there's
Like,
something I say. If you're beautiful inside and out, you're beautiful inside and out, regardless of where you're from. So
mhm.
I'm totally open to that, and I'm someone who's very open to learning. Like I want to know how you do things because I have a feeling that I am many
Uh-huh.
things, but boring is not one of them. So if you
Hey.
can, yeah, boring is not one of them. So
Uh,
if I want to, you know, explore, I want my life to be some sort of, you know,
mm.
kind of quest to know.
The
I don't,
Matrix.
I don't, I, don't, I think I'm romanticizing this too much, but it's true. I don't want to be bland. I want it to be like, you know, tell me
Uh,
about you. Tell me exactly. I want to know, and I wouldn't mind. And that's why I wouldn't mind having someone who's different. Like, in fact, I think I'd prefer it. I'm not saying I'm looking down on my Kenyan, like,
uh,
yeah, I don't. Hey, even if it's okay, dude, there's so many ways a Kenyan can be different. Like, they can be from another part of the country. They can have a different thought
uh,
process. Yours. I'm
yeah.
just saying, I'm an open person. Like, if I like it, I'm gonna go for it.
If you like it, crowded.
Yes.
Oh, but yeah, it's like for me, it's like I'd want to like have a totally different experience from someone who speaks like a different language than you. Like
Yeah. It's interesting. Exactly.
yeah.
That's
So
the
like
thing I'm telling
where
you.
where I would have to be speaking Swahili or something. Like you have to speak
Yeah.
something or learn a new language. Like
It's also very
Spanish,
important to it's also
Hungarian.
very important to treat it with the seriousness it deserves because you need to see yourself spending the rest of your life with this person. It's a possibility. I mean, that's why you're there.
Like yeah, it's
It's
actually like
it's a
something that's
possibility. It's a possibility. That's what I'm telling you. People
you
need to
you
take
you get
it
some
seriously.
pointies like and stuff.
Exactly.
So
It's a possibility. So if you say you're gonna date someone who's different, you need to know that it's a
yeah,
possibility that you're gonna end up with this person. You need to take it seriously. So yeah, that's why I'm telling you,
yeah.
man. Heck it, I go for it, regardless of who. I'm gonna go in it knowing that we're going till the end, wherever the
Hook,
end is.
line, and sinker.
Hook, line, and sinker, exactly.
Like composition wise
Yeah.
speaking.
I see
Oh,
several of my friends dating, and I'm really happy for them because they're breaking stereotypes. Because it's
me.
not really, in as much as we are describing it as being fun, it's not the
Mhm.
easiest thing to do because when you have misunderstandings, you might not know how to approach them if this person has a
Mhm.
different style of approaching conflict. That's why it needs a lot of tolerance. I spoke about
Mhm.
tolerance a minute or so ago. A minute in terms of the new meaning of a minute. So yeah, I feel like it needs to be taken seriously when there's conflict because you don't know what this person's culture
Mhm.
deals or how this culture deals with this kind of thing. So you need to be understanding, you need to take time and learn this as a person and yeah.
It's an interest. Okay, like since you haven't like been in a serious relationship, I wanted to ask about situationships. Like how you experience relationship problems with someone who is not your someone, but yeah,
Okay,
there's
for
that.
the record, I've actually been in a serious relationship. Well,
Oh, oh
I
wow.
have.
Bye. This. Okay,
I
okay.
feel like saying I have not is being a bit disrespectful to the person I was with. It was serious, at least to me. It was, yeah, because you don't need to be very careful with. Oh, he went on the podcast and said he's never been in
you
a serious
you
relationship, and I was out here. No, it's not
you
like I was
jumped
in a
me 8
serious. It
feet.
was serious
You
for me. It
jumped
was
me 8
so
feet.
serious. Huh?
Like she will say you jumped her. Like
Exactly. And I'm not
10
going to
and
take it
2.
back. Taking it back, I was very serious with it. I was 100% serious.
Okay, and what happened?
Man, life happened. Man, let's just say sometimes
Some
you're in the deep end, sometimes you're in the shallow end, man.
some character development.
Some character development, and Lee is now speaking here of spending Valentine's Day on his own. But I feel that was a significant period of time
Uh-huh.
ago, and I have had chances where I could have been in a relationship, but I feel like again for the reasons I've said,
Yeah.
I was not really going to be serious. So, and I thought that if I hop into a relationship, I may not have, recovered. Okay, recovered is a strong word. I may not have totally detached myself from the one I was in so that I can
Mhm.
start dating this new person. And it would be unfair to them to promise them of a love that you can't repeat in that moment. So I feel like, yes, it was probably the right thing to do not to hop into another one as quick as possible. I'm not saying I have not had interactions with the females, I have, but
Hey,
at least at least it
hey.
was with the understanding that this is not I mean,
Uh,
we're not like dating or anything. I have made sure to point out that
disclaim.
exactly disclaimer there's not that there's nothing happening, but we're like we're not
Mm.
dating. So yeah,
Oh,
that it has to be anything we do needs to be done with the knowledge that we're not dating. So yeah.
it's yeah, it's just for
Yeah.
and please don't try this at home for like
No. Hey, I am not suggesting anything. I'm just saying I've had interactions with females. It could mean a lot of things.
man, we should like put a disclaimer that the comments made during the recording of this podcast that as a result of our alter egos and they not
I don't
reflect.
think come on. I don't think we've said anything that warrants a PG rating or anything.
Well, but it's yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask like about have you ever been like had an awkward interaction like with a girl, like for example at a date and you didn't know what to say or something, and it was just awkward or some like
Well, yes.
mhm.
So back when I was dating, wow man, that was super awkward. So I called my girlfriend over to my place where I was
Huh?
living, and I invited my friends to come over. Cause like, hey man, I need you guys to see my chick, cause she's beautiful, pretty, and all. So she
Hey.
came. My friends came. And I was like, yes, this is it.
Mhm.
So my friend, who I trust very much, one of my best friends today, uh, took time to speak to her, and then asked her
Mhm.
of what this is like. What's your type of person? That's on a
Mhm.
friendship level because they're also friends before before like I started dating her, we're also friends. So the chick went on and said that she likes older guys, and I'm not an older guy, you know. This guy came back and told me, "Hey, bro, man, I don't know what's happening, but your chick is out here telling me that she likes older guys." Oof, and I was like,
Hey, like
ah, we move, bro.
we locomote regardless.
Hey, I was in Spain, but the S was
She, she,
silent, bro.
she took you back to Spain because you said their women are
And she
not
said
all
she
good.
likes older guys, and by older she meant like way older, not me older. So no,
Not a
that
few
was a
weeks
bit
old.
embarrassing. That was a bit embarrassing in that you brought your whole friends to listen to this
Nah.
chick, and then it's not happening. And then another time I had cleaned my place up. She was coming, man, only for her to
Mm.
stand me up. It's crazy, man. This is not the same person though. So yeah, ended
Hey,
up
man,
ended
Casanova
up,
moved, man.
and that was a Casanova move, man. So let's
So,
say
so
the
like you
phone.
got you like you got one of those texts like you're gonna hate me for this, but
Oh, you're gonna
no.
hate me for this, man. And I was like, oh
If
well.
if if you get a text starting with that, like don't even read it, man.
Exactly, like don't do it, man. Because
Don't even read it. Like
I was out here being vulnerable emotionally. I
you
mean,
put yourself out there.
it's okay to
I'm,
be
I'm
vulnerable
about to fly
emotionally.
the Kenyan flag and Africa at large flag high.
That was not here. That was not here. Man,
Oh,
that was not here.
oh
That was
man, like
yeah.
like like
Hey, over here, I've not had such experiences. That was when I was back
you
home.
you're leaving your footprint everywhere, man. Like
Hey, that is not here.
we
So that was when I was back home. So yeah, I feel like those were learning moments because I think I can't say I'm the same person I was back then. So yeah,
uh,
I've had bad experiences. Oh, then let me tell you what happened now. Yeah. So
uh-huh.
there's this girl I liked. I still like her, man. Like, and I hope she's
Hey,
listening wherever she is. We have a really good relationship. Like relationship. It's kind of those relationships where there's chemistry, but for one reason or the other you can't be together. That happens too.
mm, okay.
So, man, we went to Starbucks over here in Debrecen, and Starbucks. So there's this little cups they give you. They put your latte or your cappuccino, and they give you a cup and they seal it. So, man, I was psyched. And the thing with me is I eat or drink lots of sugar. So
Uh-huh.
I was sure that the sugar that put in the latte or the syrup, the sugar is in the form of a syrup in the
Yeah.
latte was not enough. So I went over to the sugar section, took my cup. They've already put the latte in there. I took one of two or three of the brown sugar sachets, poured it in, stirred it, and then I was not aware that that cup at the top needs to
Uh,
click when you open it and then
uh,
you refill it. It needs to click. So I thought, oh, it's fastened enough. I feel like it's tight. Let me grab it. So I just did my thing, my halfway sealing it. Then I went and took a seat. And then I'm trying to drink from the top. You know that small opening at the top where
uh-huh.
you get
Uh-huh.
the coffee from? Hey, I'm drinking from there and it's coming out at the top of the
Yeah.
cup. And oh, then the thing spilled on my jeans. Oh my, I was so
Oh
embarrassed.
man.
And I was this chick I liked, man. That was some embarrassing stuff. So I went home with pants that were wet, man. That was some mad kind of thing. I mean, to be fair to myself, me and this girl, we looked at it with fond memories. That was a really funny day, but it
Uh-huh.
was embarrassing on my part. It was really
Yeah.
embarrassing.
But at
So
least
yeah.
it was not like one of those days where she was just telling herself, after this, I'm blocking this guy.
Ah,
You
no,
know.
no, of course not. It was just, oh, that's so clumsy, man. How can you do that? We looked at it and like, oh yeah,
Wait,
good days.
but have you ever had of one of those moments where you are hanging out with someone, but in your mind you're like, this is the last time I'm definitely hanging out with this person, or like they're the way of maybe.
Oh yeah, I get those all the time. I get those all the time. I had one as recently as yesterday.
Oh,
I mean, it depends on the energy you give off. I feel like conversation is an art. You need to know how to speak, and
mhm,
you need to know what you should tell someone and what you shouldn't tell them. So if I meet you and you're not aware of what you should and should not say, I feel like
mhm,
that's a big deal breaker for me in terms of
mhm.
maybe even creating a friendship because
Yeah.
you don't get second chances, first impressions. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's that mental note you say, oh, maybe this is not the person I want to keep. Then also as we grow older, I feel like we're becoming really selective of the company you want to keep.
Uh-huh.
You kind of, you know, the energy you want to attract, you know, the people you want to be around,
Uh-huh.
you know the type of people you want to call your friends. There's this old saying that show me your friend and I'll show you the type of person you are. That's true, because
Uh-huh.
the type of people you consider your friends and the type of people who you want to behave a certain type of way. So I feel like yes, if you want to attract this kind of energy and call these people your friends, you need to stick to the mold. You need to stick to the model. Like you can't design something which you
Uh-huh.
don't represent. As an engineer, if you're working on a design, you're not going to
Uh-huh.
design something that does not speak of you. You want to leave a
Man.
footprint of you in the design, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So it's the same thing with choosing friends. I feel like if you're going to have a conversation and a serious conversation, and then maybe you're not conversant with social etiquette or how you should carry yourself, then you're not leaving much room for next time, which is really, really bad because there's not going to be next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I think that's why I draw the line on interactions. And yeah.
okay, so as we wind up, I want to ask like just one last question, and then like we wind up. Like
Yes.
like in your experiences, in your many encounters, have you ever had to like maybe learn something because of someone you liked, or maybe listen to a particular type of music just so you can have something to talk about or something? Like, have you ever had one of those things? As
Oh,
we went,
that's called being down bad. Okay, no. Well,
dudes who are down bad.
you two are down bad. Okay, well, to be fair, no. Here's the thing: people
Uh-huh.
will need conversation starters. Cause I told you, and I said before, and I'm not trying to brag or anything.
Mm.
Uh, I have many things, but boring is not one of them. And you see,
Yeah.
people kind of downplay sharing memes, but memes are a legit conversation starter.
Yo.
So they're a legit one. So
Act-
yes, humor generally is what memes fall under. So I feel like if you know someone's music taste and they tell you, oh, I like this type of music, it's not gonna like take much for you to look for a song, send
Mhm.
the person and tell them, oh,
Uh-huh.
I'm listening to this and it's actually dope. And then from that, a conversation is gonna start. You don't need to be
Uh-huh.
all like, what's happening in your life. No, man, you need to have some
Uh-huh.
space. So yes, I have, and I do it a lot actually. On
Uh-huh.
Spotify, I have playlists which are very varied, and some of the songs on there are there because someone told me, yo, listen to this song. And by listening to this song, I found other songs that I liked. It's the same in terms of music or pages I follow on Instagram, like in terms
Uh-huh.
of cooking, in terms of living. Like this is how you're gonna get many experiences. This is how you're gonna get a varied experience of people. So I feel like it doesn't do you any harm, dude. If someone tells you, oh yes, I like rock, even if you
Mhm.
don't like rock,
Yeah.
show you're willing to listen to rock so that the relationship can be fostered.
Yeah.
And
So
it speaks a lot.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, speaking of memes as a conversation starter, like there was like two years ago in Budapest at a stipendium banquet, like dinner, right?
Yes.
When we were like exchanging contacts and stuff, and I said like, "Yo," I gave them my Instagram handle, and they're like, "Oh my god, you're like the funniest guy! Like we follow your Insta because of the memes." And then she called a couple
Oh,
of her friends, like, "Oh my god, this is Fidel!" And yo, so
hey, Fidel is out here
memes,
making the moves. Fidel is out here making the
memes
money.
are legit starter
Ah,
and stuff.
show us the way, master. Show us the way.
Yeah, so this is a way of telling the listeners, yo, like find me on Instagram and stuff, and yeah, you will find a lot of conversation starters, and
And
maybe you'll be working on someone will stop you as well
I
because
believe it
yo,
worked well for you, has it not?
yo, it
Because
actually did.
sure what they say. Girls like a funny man. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. And girls who are listening, it's true. You like a man who can make you laugh. Because laughter is everything. If you can laugh, then you can beat anything.
Uh,
So yeah,
okay, so like winding up, I want to thank you, Lee, for creating time and joining us on our podcast, and yeah, so thank you everyone for listening to us, and we appreciate you for your time. Remember to like, subscribe, share,